Just as the song says, your bullfrog doing it again. So welcome to your bullfrog's frog tank. Yep, welcome to Frog Tank. Who are the frogs? Well, there's this guy who's been frogging around for a long time, acting all frogged up sometimes, but still does his thing. Yes, indeed. Then there's Dolly, the queen of EBT, doing her thing too. Beginning as model, ending as a nurse. Gotta be recertified though. But today she laces away just as the bullfrog does. So there you have it. Welcome to Frog Tank. Anyway, now in PA, just crossed state lines. Oops, forgot my passport. And now bypassing York on this exceedingly hot day. Don't know how else to put it, but it's a muggy one out there. But because it's being exceedingly hot out there, I gotta get myself something to whatever. I gotta tie one on. And again via time lapse, back on the road. Welcome back to Frog Tank. This is Emmetsville, PA. There is a YouTuber here who shoots video of trains out of his house window with distant horns blowing on the Northern Central or York Secondary, whatever you want to call it. He knows who he is. He's up here somewhere. At nighttime, distant horn. Enjoy. Or title something like that. But back on the freeway. Just for a bit. But now on a side road. Heading for the riverbank. And now we're in Goldsboro. And up here, the Northern Central Railway. Now part of Norfolk Southern. The York Secondary that I mentioned before. Baltimore to the right. Sunbury to the left. Oh, 2 tracks at this point. And now down by the banks of the Susquehanna. Across the way there are the cooling towers for 3 Mile Island nuclear plant. Not a bad day for some boating. Almost wish I could. Another power plant there. Of course, across the way there's Lancaster County. We're here in York County. There are islands and hidden coves in this part of the river. I guess most of the Susquehanna has both those things. I guess that's what they call this place. back to the center of town and the crossing of the Central. Must have been electric here at one time. There are catenary poles down there. And now about to ascend out of Goldsboro onto other things. And now on a road I haven't seen in over 35 years. An example of the scenery through here. Yeah, stay heading west. We'll get a mountain over there. Sort of. I know where I am now. Susquehanna Trail. I've taken in many a day odyssey up this road. I'm about to use it now for convenience. Glad I caught that. And now coming into New Cumberland, as we have before. I'm now crossing the bridge into Lemoyne. Hope I said that right. Up here in this state, you can mispronounce names rather easily. And I have several times. And again up here, rail lines I've shown you before. One-day Odyssey videos going up this way. Former Penn lines, now Norfolk Southern. And some rather tight curves here. And a stopped hopper train. Yep, electric too at one time. Formerly electric. And now crossing the Susquehanna. And up ahead, Harrisburg. Now stop by the Harrisburg Amtrak station. Let's have a look inside. Oh, thankfully it's air conditioned. And the concourse. Yeah, she likes to do her own thing. My first time here today, though I've been outside once a couple years ago. In our Odyssey to Centralia, we stopped here and I showed you around the outside. Let's go find some trains. Nice displays here too. And hard to believe this began as a Northern Central station. Got the Norfolk Southern going by. And an Amtrak waiting in the wings. Yep, got some Amtrak out there. Got some classic stuff in here. Alright. So there's a button over here that starts it running. Alright, start it running. A GG1, all right. Stop in front of us, all right.
That's interesting. That's interesting. Type, shorten it.
But down there, is that a real GG1 nose in front of me? I can't get any closer because these doors don't open. More Norfolk Southern. Now track level, and then the full just arrived. So we have stopped trains on both sides, and they both push pulls, oddly enough. I guess here on the Keystone Corridor, push pull is common. And our Norfolk Southern is still passing, heading east. But here, there are two trains on the same track. That one, and the one I just showed you.
Turn the other way.
How's that going to work? Yep. And Dolly's in the way again. And now to see what's going which way. I want to wait because the other side of that train is a GG1. This is all once part of the Northern Central Railway coming out of Baltimore until the Penn took it over and made it theirs. Facing west on the Keystone Corridor. Other compass direction is north at this point. Now in a different spot. In an effort to get that GG1 over there. Looking like that one in the model layout running around. When I went to the World's Fair in '65, that's what pulled my train. As in mine was Tuscan red, not black with gold pinstripes. But there's my favorite GE locomotive. You can keep your GEVOs and whatever else. I want one of those. Yes, indeed. That is one magnificent locomotive right there. From the classic days of train travel. But they can't run it if they wanted to, because they use a lower voltage than that is now in the catenary. Now they use a much higher voltage than they used back then. But that's it. Your Bullfrog's one-time limo. Back in his kid days, in his tadpole days, whatever. Harrisburg Amtrak station. Alright, time to move on. And right there, the Capitol, the State House. And again by the banks of the Susquehanna, where they have steamboat tours, apparently on Sunday. And this is the historic Walnut Street Bridge. Closed to motor traffic a ways back. And apparently referred to as the People's Bridge. Okay, carry traffic until 72. Gotcha. I could have been a teenager and crossed this bridge, but not after that. And there's the bridge looking west across it. You can walk over it to an island in the Susquehanna. But it's got a grate, and I can't walk over that with my cane. Unless I walk too close to the edge of the river, I can't walk there either. Well, she's got nerve, for lack of a better word. And over there, the Humpback Bridge, or Camelback Bridge, whatever they call it. Choose your term. You want to get up the nerve to walk across this bridge. But for now, back on the road, in the rain, crossing Camelback Bridge, the one I showed you. And up here is the island in the Susquehanna that you can walk to over the old bridge. And up ahead, the second bridge over the second section of the Susquehanna, back to the mainland. That old bridge was longer at one time, but part of it washed out back in 1996. The Walnut Street Bridge would have come out right here where this walkway is. Part of it. And now we're in Wormleysburg. Sounds like a town with worms. Worms. I once had a dog that had worms. Now here by Enola Yard, once part of the pen, now Norfolk Southern. And something waiting in the wings way down there. And now working our way to Rockville Bridge. At least the rain stopped. My last time going to Rockville Bridge, I was on the opposite side of the river instead of this side. Because back then I couldn't find this road. But now I found it. And this is Marysville. And up ahead, Rockville Bridge, with a slow freight crossing it. They go slow, so you can shoot video if you want. I don't know, just guessing. there's the end of it. And now it's really coming down out there. But it might brighten up. Now stopped a bit north of Rockville Bridge to check out this cool series of tunnels on an abandoned line. There are like 2 or 3 in a row here. Wonder how far back they were last used. And now inside the tunnel, where it's sort of spooky. But behind me, all grown over, so I can't say when was the last time something passed through here. And again, raining as a train passes. This isn't my day, but I'm out anyway. I picked a fine day to come out, didn't I? If I picked a great day to come out. I know what. I'll step outside and take a shower while I'm here. I'll take a shower in the shower. I'm gonna save water at home that way. Let nature pay for it. Worth the wait in the rain? The end of the train, that is. Not the video yet. There's more video to come. There's the bridge again. Still some rain coming down out there. And in the distance, Harrisburg. There in the valley of the Susquehanna. Not a half bad view from here. And now crossing to the east side of the Susquehanna. Because I have to go up 322 for a bit. Then we're not going to see Lewistown or State College. Rumble strips. Either that or my stomach's growling, one of the two. It stopped raining, but the road's all wet. And that way goes to the bridge's namesake, Rockville, PA. on up here for a bit. I'm now about to ascend that mountain. I last brought you this way back in May of 2014 on the way to Centralia. And now for the ascent. And up here someplace crosses the Appalachian Trail. Top of the mountain. There's the bridge for the trail. But I'll go up here and check the trail out itself. Here's the driveway we just came up to get here. In fact, at one time the trail crossed the highway and came up this way. And behind me, the trail continues northeast, but it's considered a northbound route, as evidenced by this sign. And apparently the trail goes down this narrow path. That's where I see the white blazes. And up this way is just the driveway leading to a microwave tower. That's right, I should know. Back in the late 90s, I walked up there and found that tower. Oop. I stand corrected. By myself. As I said, the trail once crossed the highway, but ever since putting in the bridge, the trail now crosses it. That's looking south towards Georgia. Behind me is north towards Maine. And Maine to Georgia. Now that's a long walk. It would be a great view into the valley if it wasn't for this fence and the highway down below. We'll soon be going that way. Yeah, too bad they didn't use plexiglass instead of a fence, because that's a great view there. Even see the mist from the rain. I'd continue on the trail, but Georgia's a long walk from here, so maybe I better not. So, gotta walk back over it. One more attempt to photograph the valley. Almost sunset. In the distance, part of the Susquehanna. Way down there is Halifax. And the sunset. And now descending to the valley I just showed you from a distance. This is the road that was in the picture. In the video rather, whatever. And now entering Halifax. I last showed you this, as I said, back in May of 2014, en route to Centralia. I'll turn down here, see if there's a train station. The Central Pass is up ahead, so we'll go check it out. And here is the Central one more time. If I was a train station in this town, where would I be? Well, just one track at this point. But I heard from a YouTuber who said he used to live here. So this is for you. You know who you are. Crossing over again. I bet a station would have been here in this empty area here. Unless one of these houses was a station at one time. Yep, downtown Halifax. We'll be following 147. Gonna use this to get back to the freeways. Even Maryland has a 147. But here's Pennsylvania's. What's happening here? And up there's the mountain that the Appalachian Trail follows. And the Central's over there someplace, following along. Up here's the highway we took getting up here. But I can't get back that way on account of a backup. And again, crossing the Susquehanna, probably for the last time today. This is Clark's Ferry, with all its services. We'll be going south. If there was no backup on going the other way, I'd have gone south on this road instead. But on the way north, I passed a serious backup going south. So we'll take this route back south. This road takes us back to Wormleysburg and Lemoyne, two places we passed through on the way up. Now you know the road that we're on. In fact, the Appalachian Trail crosses up here too. That bridge that we recrossed the Susquehanna on is the bridge that carries the trail as well. So how about that? And now passing through Cove. But don't know how it got the name. It's a hidden cove, okay. And again, across from Harrisburg, no more hidden coves. A good view across the river, but nothing obscures it. Everything we passed earlier in the daytime. On a street bridge to our left, out of sight. And here's Lemoyne by night. We saw it by day earlier. But now I've got to pick up I-83 for the trip back. So, hope you enjoyed your day in the frog tank. and the Pennsylvania Turnpike, which was supposed to be a railroad, but never completed. So 50 years later, it became a highway. There are lots of videos on YouTube explaining how it all came about, including mine. The rain might have passed, but on occasion I see some distant lightning. Alright, how about some more lightning? Figures when the camera's running, there is no lightning. But every now and then, there'll be a lightning flash. Even still. There's some lightning in the distance. But I think we'll be alright. And up ahead, back in the York area, with occasional lightning still. I've still got the lightning. And again, got some rain picking up out there. Just called my mother back in Baltimore, and she says there it's pouring down. Cats and dogs. It's pouring rats and frogs in Baltimore. That's why we see all the lightning to the south, in the direction of Baltimore. When I get back to Maryland, I think I'm in for a surprise. Whoa. Check that out. So twice I tried going to Rockville Bridge, and twice it rained. How about that? I guess Rockville Bridge isn't a very lucky destination. And still got the lightning flashes. Crossing back into Maryland in the rain. But there's our welcome. Even though we live here. Got quite a storm going out there. I'm now back in suburbia. Back in a rainy suburbia. Still have an occasional flash of lightning out there. Every now and then. But it's still raining out there. Apparently here got a bit of a power outage. Some street lights are on. But behind me there were 2 traffic signals that were totally out. Another traffic signal at the top of that hill up there, and that's out. And I got a busy intersection coming up over the hill. Oh no. Well, the houses have power, and hopefully ours does. These intersections I was telling you about, well, the light here is functional. Good. I'm now back in Urbia. Back in the city. And back in the hood at long last. Well, there goes a cat. Underneath that car. It's a hood cat. Interesting though, the The vehicles are all wet, but the street's almost totally bone dry. That I can't figure out. Maybe the storm that was here when I called about half hour ago has dissipated. But again, better get in. Got an editing job in front of me.